friends, I am Sanjay Mansukhani from ChangeDestiny.in. I am a teacher of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and today we are going to discuss a very important stage on the path to Kevalya, liberation, complete freedom, and that is the state of Dharma Megha Samadhi. We will look at Dharma Megha Samadhi and its effects. This is one of the last important steps or stage after which Kevalya begins. In the 29th Sutra of the Kevalya Pada of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Patanjali for the first time uses the term Dharma Megha Samadhi. And in this particular sutra he says that a person, a yogi, who has no interest even in the results of his meditative wisdom because of his higher degree of discriminative insight, such a samadhi called Dharma Megha Samadhi, or the cloud of virtue, ensues. This is what happens for such a yogi in a similar case. So the commentators have been commenting on similar terms through various sutras of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. One of these terms is Prasanna. Other is the Dharma Megha, which has been used here. Then terms like Pragya, Viveka, Vivek Khyati, or Khyati alone. Or there are some other synonyms with similar meanings with some slight differences. So here the interesting part is that it all refers to mainly a means of restraining all outgoing mental activities. Vakaspati Mishra, one of the prominent commentators, explains that Prasanna refers to the restrainment of all the outgoing mental activities, all the outgoing sanskaras. And Dharma Megha is that stage, that state which comes about when Prasanna in turn is restrained. So now you have one stage where the outgoing sanskaras are restrained, and you have the other stage called the Dharma Megha, when these restraining of the outgoing sanskaras itself is restrained. Now, this Dharma Megha is supposed to be the highest state of discrimination, is the highest state of Viveka. And what it means is, normally a person gets his knowledge from the sense organs, from the five sense organs, and all this knowledge is worldly knowledge. But when he starts on the path of yoga, when he starts the practice of Ashtanga yoga, then as he proceeds, as he goes through various levels of deep and deeper concentration, he reaches the stage in this path of higher and higher meditation where his ability to differentiate, his ability to discriminate has become so high that he is able to discriminate between the sensory knowledge, the worldly knowledge, and the knowledge beyond the senses, knowledge beyond the world. So his discernment has reached a state of perfection, and now the yogi has absolutely no interest even in the powers which he has gained because of his sadhana. The yogi is not interested in gaining control over anything at all, But on the contrary, even these powers, even these attainments a yogi considers as suffering, as pain. He wants to be free from even all this. He wants to have no control whatsoever, but his control is actually increasing. His control is increasing because of his deeper and deeper levels of concentration. And as his concentration is becoming deeper and deeper, he is able to sort of filter sensory knowledge from the other knowledge. Sensory knowledge from intuition, sensory knowledge from insight, sensory knowledge from pragya. His sixth sense starts operating now. He starts picking up knowledge beyond what is normally picked by human beings. So this stage is the stage of Dharma Megha. And if you remember that in the initial Samadhi Pada, dispassion of the highest type was defined as Param Vairagyam. And in this state of Param Vairagyam, it was pointed out that there is a very high level of dispassion towards everything made of the gunas, that is, everything which has got something or the other of Prakriti. There is complete dispassion towards it, there is complete detachment towards it, there is virtually no connection between Prakriti and such a yogi. So this state is called the Dharma Megha. Now, Vijnana Bhikshu, again another prominent commentator on the Yoga Sutras, makes a very specific comment. He says Dharma Megha is a state of Jivan Mukti. Now, Jivan Mukti means the soul is liberated but still is present in the body. So a yogi who has reached the state of Dharma Megha Samadhi has actually obtained liberation. That means all his sanskaras are literally over, and he but is still present in his body. Such a person is called a Jivan Mukta. He is a Jiva, but he is Mukt. So there is a opportunity here for you to ask, why is this level of Samadhi called Dharma Megha Samadhi? Dharma, dear friends, we all know is cloud. So the question which is of interest here is, why is this Samadhi called Dharma Megha Samadhi, and to what Samadhi does it refer to? Is it Sampragyata Samadhi, or is it a form of Asampragyata Samadhi? That is it a Sabij Samadhi, or is it a form of Nirbij Samadhi? Now the commentators, though there are many commentators, but it has not been possible for them to clearly specify which type of Samadhi is the Dharma Megha Samadhi. There is no answer about this. But our Vijnana Bhikshu, a prominent Yoga Sutra commentator, says, like a cloud, in this state of Dharma Megha Samadhi, there is Dharma, there is virtue which reigns all over the yogi, and all the record of his kleshas and all the record of his karma gets cleaned up. Kleshas, as we know, are the 5 primary deep sanskaras in us which are present right from birth, and they continue till the last. These kleshas are ignorance, ego, attachment, aversion, and clinging to death. So these 5 are elementary sanskaras, basic sanskaras, which are present in every individual, every being born here. And they in turn produce karma. So we also carry an account of all sorts of karma. Now these two, the account of kleshas and the account of karma, both of them get wiped away, get cleaned away when we reach the state of Dharma Megha Samadhi. And because of this rain of Dharma, because of this downpour of Dharma, from the cloud of Dharma, the kleshas and the karmas are completely uprooted and thrown away. Shankaracharya, another prominent commentator, he says, the supreme dharma that can reign on a yogi is simply Kevalya. And this Kevalya is the final and ultimate state of liberation, final and ultimate stage of Mukti. And when this happens, when a yogi has no kleshas, when a yogi has no karmas, his body becomes like an empty house. There is no furniture in the house. There are no people staying in the house. And all the desires which was there in the yogi to enjoy his life, they have now evaporated. He has no desire and he has no inclination towards working on these desires. And since his desires to enjoy have evaporated, now there are no further ideas being created in the chitta. The chitta is empty. The chitta has no tamas, the chitta has no rajas, and the chitta barely has some sattva. So in such a scenario, when the chitta does not have a vritti, the chitta virtually disappears, and what is left is the soul, the purusha. And the purusha, the soul, is left alone in the serenity of its pure self-knowledge. Ramanand Saraswati, again a prominent commentator, he takes on a different stand about dharma, and he says dharma means all knowable things, and this state of samadhi is one in which the yogi knows all the knowable things. Now in Dharma Megha Samadhi, the discrimination power, the discernment power of the yogi reaches its peak. So he is at his peak of pragya, he is at his peak of intuition, he is at his peak in his mental capacities. Therefore, yogi now knows all the knowable things. So first we saw a person is only knowing whatever is coming to him through the sense organs, whatever is coming to him through the senses. But the moment he goes deep into concentration, the moment he crosses certain stages of meditation, pragya starts opening up. And actually, if you look deeply into these 7 stages of meditation, you will find that there are 7 stages of pragya. Pragya increases step by step in 7 stages, 7 steps, and they are connected to the various tattvas of the Sankhya Darshan. So this is one way of looking at it. Another way is through another meaning of dharma. Dharma also has a meaning of virtue. So here, if you take dharma to mean virtue, then Hariharananda says that as a cloud pours rain, a cloud will pour rain. So as a cloud pours rain, so this state of samadhi pours the highest virtue effortlessly. So when you are in Dharma Megha Samadhi, you will find that the highest virtue you have is getting poured into you effortlessly. You don't have to struggle to gain the highest knowledge now. That is a very important part which we need to learn. Now this also includes the knowledge of the self. So when a yogi is able to pick all the knowledge of all the knowable things, then even the self is knowable, and such a yogi manages to get the right knowledge of the self also. Now such a yogi can see himself, can see his Purusha, can see his Atma as clearly as if a piece of fruit has been kept on his palm, in his hand. So dear friends, now that we understand that Dharma Megha Samadhi is a special kind of Samadhi where a cloud of virtue arrives on that person who is practicing that Samadhi. It also means, as per Buddhist sources, which has been worked out by making meaning of the next sutra also, it concludes that it is a state reached after many, many trials. And now there is no longer any danger of the yogi sliding backward due to the elimination of the kleshas and the karma. The yogi can only move forward. The yogi can never move backward. That is the point being made here. So dear friends, when one uses the metaphor of the rain, it appears to be most appropriate since it extinguishes fire, washes away impurities and provides a necessary condition for growth. Therefore now what we are looking at is a complete cleaning up, complete purification of our chitta, of our mind. An important commentator of the modern times, Feuerstein, equates dharma with the primal gunas, since dharma, like guna, also means quality. You see, guna means quality. Dharma also means quality. Therefore, are they interchangeable in their usage? So some of the commentators think so. So when the yogi has conquered, brought under his control, all other conditionings, and now nothing but the primary, raw, undifferentiated gunas still obstruct his all-pervasive vision. So a yogi keeps on growing. The yogi, every opportunity he gets, he uses it for his self-growth. So if you see these various interpretations of this Dharma Megha, you will find they all fit into the language of the yoga philosophy. They all fit into the contours, into the shape of the yoga philosophy. So what it essentially means is, Megha is cloud, Dharma is virtue. When a person reaches the state of Dharma Megha Samadhi, it is like a cloud of virtue rains on him and helps him to connect to the right people, to the right companies because of this particular aspect. So dear friends, that is all for today about Dharma Megha Samadhi. I am sure you have got some better idea now. We have been doing these sessions on Facebook Live with the intention of helping people understand the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and the important role they can play in our day-to-day life, and the way it can give us permanent happiness. If we know how to apply the Yoga Sutras, then it can give each one of us permanent happiness. We would like each one of you to experience that permanent happiness and take it home. Teach it to your children, teach it to your parents, teach it to other members of your society, teach it to the people of this world, so that more and more people are able to go for permanent happiness, and then our planet can be called a happy planet. And this would be good for our young engineers, doctors, entrepreneurs to capitalize on this simple aspect. So dear friends, thank you so much. God bless each one of you. See you again on Saturday. And with this, after one or two sutras, we will come to the end of the Kevalya Pada, and we will then take upon the Sankhya Darshan, one of the most important darshan our land has produced. And I believe this is a very powerful darshan, and each one of you must know in detail, in depth about it. It will help you to bring this creation, this nature completely under your control, and then you can make nature do for you what you want it to be done for you. Dear friends, thank you so much. God bless each one of you. Thank you.